Day 997. It's 5:45 p.m. Saturday. I'm just leaving Whole Foods. I came here and I went to the coffee shop area, the cafe area, and did some work. I have been realizing, like, I've been asking God to give me clarity, like, what is the spirit I really need to fight? Like, what is the thing that's really that I need to take on? And I thought for sure last week it was a spirit of poverty. And then I got really sick. And then I realized there's, like, right before I got really sick, I just ate horribly. Like, for dinner, I had chicken strips with flamin' hot Fritos, pretzels, and cheese. And then I had mochi balls after that. Like, just ate horribly. And even when I was eating it, I was like, this isn't even good, but I just ate it anyway. It was just like, what? And then the next day, just felt so sick and my stomach hurt so bad. And then I was just in bed for 3 days, just knocked out, no energy, just like my stomach, just sharp pains. Like, it was just like, wow, like, what caused me to do that? Like, what is it that's really there? Is it like carelessness or like irresponsibility or laziness or and I was just like zooming out at like the areas of my life that could be much better, like my health, my finances, my business. And it's just like, man, what really stops me? Like, what really do I need to, what's the battle I need to, like, just go all in on? Because spirit of poverty was definitely one, but it's like I felt like there was something even deeper than that. And then I started learning about sloth, which is like, most people look at sloth as laziness, but it's more like not caring fully about things and wasting your time, wasting your energy, wasting your potential. And so I found these articles about it, and I just started thinking about it a lot. So I was up there reading these different articles. I took 2 pages of notes. It was just fascinating. I was like, wow, this is what I am struggling with. It's slothfulness. And it's crazy because in one article they use the example of the story that Jesus told, the parable that Jesus told of the talents. So there's a master and he's got 3 servants, and he's going away for a while, and he goes to each servant, he gives them a certain amount of talents or money, bags of gold. And so he gives the first person 5 bags of gold, the second person 3 bags of gold, the last person 1 bag of gold. And the one who got 5 and 3 went off and did their thing, and the one who got the 1 bag went and buried it in the ground. And when the master returned a while later, the one who had 5 brought back 10, the one who had 3 brought back 6, and the one who had 1 brought back 1. And the master was like, you wicked and lazy servant. And I was just like, wow. Because, it's like he buried it and then he just went and did his own thing. The others, like, worked to multiply it. And so I look at that, like, with my finances and stuff. It was just like, and my grandpa and I were talking about that. Like, I'm the one where I buried the 1 instead of multiplying it. And just like, man, when I actually work hard and work consistently on, like, getting clients or making money, like, God blesses me with a lot of money. The 2 times I really did that in this last year, the first time I booked a stage and spoke on it, and then booked another stage right after that, 10 days later, spoke on it, then did a ton of coaching, consulting first calls. And then that month I made $26,000 in new clients. And then the next time that I really worked hard consistently and posted and did all these things, I got $30,000 in new clients in 5 weeks. And, they're still on payments and stuff like that. But it was just like that, it produced. So it's not that I have, like, a money-making issue. It's that it's a work issue. It's a consistently working. And I'm learning more about sloth and how it works. And it's like this super intense, like, just like lack of motivation, lack of focus, a little bit of anxiety. And so I was reading into it, and I'm like, wow, this is what I struggle with. And it attacks your purpose. So I'm learning so much, and I was just sitting there just blown away. Like, this is absolutely what I'm struggling with, and this is what I'm going to take on, that spirit of slothfulness. And it actually comes from the root Greek word, which is acedia, or something like that, acedia, and it means to basically to like act without care, to kind of be careless. And there's so many things where I stick my head in the ground until like it gets too bad that I have to pull my head out of the ground. It's like the visual I have is like you go out to the beach and you bury your head in the sand until the tide rises, and then like water starts to go up your nose because you're upside down, your head's in the ground, and you have to pull it out so you don't drown. It's like I let situations get so bad, like I let them just go, and I just am like, whatever, I'll deal with it later. And there's this like carelessness, this irresponsibility that really affects me, and it makes me feel bad. It kills my self-esteem. God bless me. Thank you. It kills my self-esteem, my confidence. It's interesting because I was thinking about this. Like when I was struggling with lust, my confidence and self-esteem with women was very low. Like I couldn't feel very comfortable being around women, or very confident being around women, because there was so much shame tied to the pornography and stuff like that, and looking at women lustfully. And then when God removed that, he removed that lack of confidence and that lack of assertiveness. And now it's like, I don't get nervous or weird or anything at all. It's just like, whatever, you're just a woman and I'm just a man. We're just people, rather than you're a lustful object or something like that. And so that was removed. And so I look at this like slothness, and it's like, man, I see that, and how much more confidence could I have, and boldness and assertiveness could I have if I were to truly know that I'm working hard to build a business. Because I have such an amazing business, such an incredible brand, and I just spend so much time planning and not enough time working. I think I've got the two very mixed up. There's a big difference between working and planning, and I plan a lot, but I don't work a lot. And this is just incredible. I don't even know how to explain it very well yet, because it's all so new to me, but I just spent the last 3 hours studying it and learning and opening my mind to it. It's something I've never seen before. It's a total blind spot. But it even discusses, like in the Greek, how it's explained, and also like how it's explained, and then the emotions that come with it. And Christian saints used to talk about it and how much of a problem it was, and it's an emotional state, and a lot of it comes from isolation and being alone. It's so intense. I'm so excited to just like dive in and study it. And it was crazy, and just like noticing the laziness that I have, the carelessness that I have just throughout my day, like leaving stuff in my car, and just where it's like, I'll get it tomorrow, and it sits in there for 2 weeks, or like just so many things. I'm just today and yesterday, I've just been aware of so many little areas where it's just like I am just careless with it, where it's like, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, and then I don't, and then it builds up, and then I feel bad, and it's such a sneaky one. And it's crazy because this article was talking about how the ancient Christians, some of the ancient Christian monks would talk about there's 8 thought patterns that you have to conquer as a Christian, that you have to defeat as a Christian. There's like sexual immorality and pride and all these different things, but the hardest one is this acedia, or slothfulness, because it's the most sinister of them all, because you don't even realize it. It's so like, so I'm learning a lot about it, and I'm very excited. I feel like, wow, this is what's been hiding underneath it like for so long. This is what's been hiding, because like even talking about the isolation, when I'm leading a team of people, like when I had a company and I was the CEO of that company, like we were super productive. Like we built a company that was profitable within 6 months. Like we were growing, like we would have built a massive company. I just hated what I was doing and I didn't want to do it. But it was like I was super productive when I was like engaged and going. And so I was talking about just being alone, and how when you're alone, that's when the spirit of slothfulness or laziness or indifference or carelessness comes and attacks. So yeah, so I'm so grateful that I was sick for 4 days. Like that was such an incredible blessing, because it made me really stop and slow down, because I was about to go all in on the spirit of poverty. And the thing is, I wouldn't live in poverty if I wasn't lazy. I wouldn't be overweight if I wasn't lazy. I wouldn't have a struggling business if I wasn't lazy. And I know I'm always busy, but busy does not mean that you're not lazy. I'm busy doing the work that is the wrong work. Wow, so crazy. The exact Audi that I had just drove past me before I moved to Thailand. That's an example of my slothfulness, my carelessness. Like, you know, I'm living out there and I can't pay my car payment, so my grandpa has to pay off the car. And then he ended up selling it, which he had every right to. And so when I got back to the US, I didn't have a car. And it was just like, man, Chris, if you were just freaking responsible and just while you were out there, made sure that you made your car payment. Like, that's all you had to freaking do, like $220 a month or something like that. That's all you had to do was make your stupid car payment, and you would have had a nice, amazing car when you got back. Stuff like that. Like my car, one of my cars before that, I had the first car that like I bought, man, every time. I didn't pay parking tickets, and so it got booted, and then it got towed, and I didn't have the money to pay all the parking tickets to get the car out, so I just let them keep the car, like an Audi sports car. Crazy. Just like things like that, where it just, that slothfulness or that carelessness just comes in and destroys things. You know, I have a lot of opportunities of people I can partner with to bring purpose coaching out into the world, and the opportunities are just everywhere, and I'm not like pursuing them fully, or there's just, yeah. And a big part of it is because I don't have anything to show them really. Like I'm just working on a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it's like if I was actually diligent and focused and really, you know, spent 8 hours working on something, building the website, doing the course, whatever it is, like I would have something to present. But I spend so much of my time planning. This is just like, I'm just learning all this. I'm just starting to see it. Like I've known a lot of this stuff, but it's all starting to click together like a puzzle. Like all the pieces are coming together, and I'm like, whoa, I can actually see what the bigger picture looks like. And it is so destructive, because slothfulness is all about wasting time, wasting energy, wasting resources, and wasting your potential. And the problem that I'm meant to solve in this world is wasted potential, and is also my greatest problem that I've struggled with my entire life, which is wasting my potential. So slothfulness is all about wasting potential. And so I'm reading this today and I'm just like, this is crazy. So yeah, I'm very excited. I feel very grounded. I feel very excited. I mean, for years, I've just been wondering, like, man, why can't I figure it out? Like, I've got all the skills and the ability in the world to be wildly successful, like financially successful and fit, and have a thriving, like, business, and be a massive speaker on massive stages. Like, what is the missing piece? Like, oh, it's torture to be full of so much potential and not live into it. Like, it's the worst. Like, It's like knowing that you've got the potential of Tom Brady, but you're playing in like on a high school football team when you should be in the NFL. And that probably sounds arrogant, but God has gifted me with some amazing gifts. And it's so frustrating to be in such the small leagues when I know I'm like created to be in the big leagues and to lead the big leagues. Like, so it's just been like my whole life. The whole reason I started these videos was to document my life going from mediocrity to greatness. That's why I was becoming Christopher Cruz. Christopher Cruz was like the greatest version of me. And I just couldn't figure out what was missing. And now I can see the light at the end of the tunnel that, man, this is a spirit of slothfulness, a spirit of carelessness, a spirit of laziness, a spirit of waste. And if I don't take it on and defeat it, I will never live into my potential. And I got to start doing things differently. How am I ever going to lose weight if I'm not diligent? Like, if I keep being lazy, how am I going to do any of this? I can't. I won't. I'm the guy who got the one bag of gold, the one talent, went and buried it in the ground, and then wasted the rest of his time in life. He could have taken that one and turned it into 100, but he didn't work. He buried it and walked away. The other guys took the 3 and turned it into 6, and the 5 and turned it into 10. So yeah, incredible realization. It was amazing. And so I was just sitting there just blown away. And it's so crazy. This lady sat down and she was 2 tables away from me, and she was with a friend. And I looked at her and I looked away and I thought, man, she looks so familiar. I looked at her again and she looked like so similar to Araceli. It was crazy. And I was just like looking at her like, what? Like it was just so crazy. And I'm just sitting there blown away. And there's one table between my table and her table, and sitting there is a guy who's like eating. And then it hit me. I'm looking, and like my vision, I could see she's here facing this way, and this guy's here at the table in the middle facing that way. So if you look at him, it looks like they're face to face with each other. And the guy here looked so similar to her husband. And I was just blown. I even took pictures because I was like, yeah, I was a creeper, and I took pictures because I was blown away. It's like there she was facing this way, like talking to her friend, and here he was facing this way, and it's like they were face to face with each other. And I was just like, wow, God, I don't know what you're trying to show me, but this is crazy. And I took pictures because I couldn't believe it. I was just like, whew, what? So yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. And it was like even her mannerisms, like the way she was eating, the way she like would smile and stuff. It was just like, wow, this is crazy. And then the guy looked so similar to her husband. I was just like, what in the world? So yeah, that was crazy. That was like, all right, I gotta get out of here. I don't know what's going on. And it's 6 o'clock at night. I need to leave. So yeah, just an amazing day. I'm so grateful that I got sick. It forced me to slow down and really think about things rather than just go. And it really revealed what my true struggle is. And I'm just excited to destroy it, and to stop wasting my potential. So I've always tried to figure it out with the world. Now I'm figuring it out with God, and I know it will happen. Like, if it wasn't for God, I'd never defeat lust. If it wasn't for me being a believer and believing in Jesus and having a relationship with God and asking God for help, and I would have never defeated lust. I would have never defeated greed. And so now the next thing is the laziness. and I will defeat it with the help of God. It will be a massive testimony, and everything in my life will shift. My weight, I'll actually lose weight because I'll stop being lazy. My finances will change because I'll actually be working on things that make a difference, and that will attract people who want to pay for things because they're great, and my business will transform dramatically because I'll be working on it, not just planning it. So yeah, it's very exciting, very liberating. Yeah, I just feel super grounded. I feel more mature, more spiritually mature than I did a few days ago. So I'm grateful for being sick, because yeah, God turned it into a blessing. Whether it was from God in the first place, maybe God just wanted me to slow down, or the enemy wanted to attack me. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's God doing it or the enemy doing it, because the word says that God uses all things for the good of his purposes. So it doesn't matter whether it's from God or from the enemy, God's going to turn it into something good. So this has turned into something phenomenal. This is one of the biggest aha moments in regards to my potential that I think I've ever had, and wasting my potential and banging my head against the wall, like, why am I in so much failure when I know I'm destined to succeed? Like, and just reading these articles and learning about it and doing the research, it's like, yeah, this is exactly, these are my chains. These are the spiritual chains that I am in that is stopping me from living into my potential. And I just can't wait. I'm so excited to just crush this laziness, to crush this carelessness, and just show the world what God can do. So yeah, good stuff.